Stay tuned for my review of this Marvel Legends Captain Marvel in a Starforce uniform. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we have another Marvel Legends review, and it is another Captain Marvel figure. This time, Captain Marvel in a Starforce uniform. Now, I believe in the US, this is going to be a Target exclusive. Obviously, I'm in the UK. There are no Targets, so I got mine from Indemand Toys. Now, what makes this figure a little bit more appealing, rather than just getting another Carol Danvers in her different uniform, is these interchangeable pieces, so you can turn this figure into Doctor Minerva. Now, obviously, we've not seen the film yet. We're not even sure if Minerva's a doctor, but she is part of the Starforce fleet, so it is nice to get some interchangeable pieces so you don't feel like you're just buying the same figure that's been repainted. So we get an extra harness, a gun, a little Jessica Jones style scarf, and of course this interchangeable head. We still get an unmasked Carol Danvers head that looks similar to the version we've already got with Captain Marvel, but this does look like a straight repaint of her uniform. But we are yet to see the film, but it's still exciting. On the side of the box we get another picture of Captain Marvel. On the back we get a little write-up that reads, using her intensive training from her days in the Air Force, Carol Danvers boldly leads an intergalactic fleet as Captain Marvel. So yeah, as I said, still very much looking forward to the film, and I still think there's a few more Captain Marvel figures to trickle out from Hasbro. So yeah, without further ado, let's get them open. And here we have Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, out of the box. And it is a nice looking figure. I did like the metallic green when I was reviewing that Yonrog. And I'm sure I like this figure even more when I know how good that Starforce fleet are in the film. Obviously she commands them, but this is how she starts off in the film, I believe. And it is a basic repaint of this figure that we got in the Kree Century Build-A-Figure wave. Now, that is not Hasbro's fault. I do believe that is movie accurate. As I said, when she's commanding the Starforce, she wears this. As she transitions into Captain Marvel, she wears that. So it's not Hasbro's fault. It's just their clever way of spending less money to give us two figures. But it is nice to have those display options. Again, we haven't seen the film, so we don't know what version we're going to like best. But they both come with interchangeable heads as well. So again, this is sort of turned into a comparison video, but basically the same unmasked head comes with them both. I'd like to think there's slightly different paint apps on the hair on these two. I don't know why, it just seems a little bit darker on the Starforce version than the Captain Marvel version, or maybe it's just my eyes playing up. I will zoom in and show you in a minute, but I just wanted to show you that you're basically getting the same figure with some repaints. But what makes the Starforce version good is the interchangeable parts to make Doctor Minerva. Now, again, I say Doctor Minerva, but we're not sure if she is actually a doctor in the Captain Marvel film. We haven't seen it yet. But yeah, we get some interchangeable parts, which I suppose we should swap on and show you. So before I do that, let me zoom in, show you these, and then we'll swap. So before I swap all these pieces, I just thought I'd show you a closer look at Captain Marvel. And again, I do really like that head sculpt and that silhouette it sort of shows with the hair coming out in the mohawk and a little grin. And this Starforce Commander outfit, I keep saying Starforce Commander, this Starforce Fleet outfit is very, very nice. And again, this is a female version of the Yonrog, so you can build your own sort of Starforce army. So maybe we'll get some more interchangeable heads down the line. But talking about interchangeable heads, let's put on the Captain Marvel Carol Danvers, aka Brie Larson head. And yeah, Hasbro, keep up this 3D face printing tech, because it's very nice, and you can definitely see elements of Brie Larson from certain angles. Yeah, I like it a lot. So they're all the pieces you get for Captain Marvel. So let's look at the other pieces, shall we, and see if we can make Minerva. So the rest of the interchangeable parts we get are to swap on and build a completely different character in Minerva. Now, Hasbro haven't mentioned that on the box at all, so I'm assuming they understand their fan base and get that we're going to be able to do this. So the only parts you get for Captain Marvel are these two. So if I take them off and use this figure as a base body, you will see all these pieces here. Now, you will see these fists, have skin tone on, so we need to take them off as well, because it doesn't look like Minerva has skin tone. So now we have a completely blank base female body for the Starforce officer, fleet member, however you want to call it. So let's start building Minerva. So it's like a mini builder figure as such. So let's put the harness on first. So the harness goes on. It's easy to do it without the head on already. Scarf piece easily goes over the neck, not a problem. Let's plug in these hands. Easily done. And as I said, those hands do have a bit of blue on them to sort of show there for Minerva. Let's put these back on. Let's get the head on there. Well, she seems to have a bit of a long neck problem, but maybe the scarf will cover that up in a minute. And yeah, she has a gun. And she does have trigger fingers as well. Just need to be able to fiddle around with that to get her to hold the gun. But essentially, that is Minerva. So let me zoom in and show you this in more detail. So here we have a closer look at Minerva. So if I bring in that face sculpt just a little bit and show you, it doesn't look very accurate to the movie, in my opinion, as I believe the actress that is playing Minerva in the film is Gemma Chang, who is part of that Humans TV show that I've never seen, but I've seen pictures online, and this just seems to be like a generic face. It doesn't really resemble any actress. So maybe this is meant to be MCU inspired, but it's not entirely accurate. Maybe it's done off concept art. I am not 100% sure. But she has that neck scarf that sort of folds over the back there, as I said, a bit like Jessica Jones. And then she has that harness that seems to have like these blue bullets on. And then she has this gun that she has trigger fingers for, as you can see there. Trigger finger holding the trigger, and just an open palm to rest the hand on the gun. And the gun has some blue elements on, and you can see her fingertips are blue as well. So yeah, she looks okay, to be fair. I don't think it's 100% MCU accurate, but it is meant to resemble Minerva. So maybe it is meant to resemble the comic version. I'm not too sure. But either way, I always like displaying options, and I do like that we sort of get two different figure options for characters in this box set. So yeah. So I wish I got two of these now so I could display them next to each other to show you what I mean. But let me compare Minerva to Mr. Yomrog himself. So here we have Minerva compared to Yomrog, and you guys know I hate saying Yomrog, it's such a stupid name. But here we have the Starforce commander and Minerva, and as I said, there are a couple more members of the Starforce that are going to appear in the Captain Marvel film. So maybe we're going to get some more interchangeable parts, as now they have both a base body for a male and female member. So all we need is a couple of interchangeable heads, and we could buy some more of these figures, swap some parts, and build our own Starforce fleet. Now, I didn't buy two of these, so I can't show you Captain Marvel in a Starforce uniform, but I can show you Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. And yeah, you can see the height differences there are looking okay. Now, I thought she had a long neck syndrome, but when you've got that scarf on there, it doesn't look too bad at all. But these Captain Marvel figures are starting to look very nice. I'm imagining it is not the last figures we've seen from the Captain Marvel film, as we know we're going to get that binary version of Captain Marvel, but they could give us a reissue of Ronan, just with a different paint job. I think Kranos is that bad guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe he is a member of the Starforce, so we could get an interchangeable head for him in some sort of accessory packs. Not accessory pack, but as some sort of accessories with other figures maybe. But for the time being, these figures we've got for the Captain Marvel film are very nice. Again, this scroll, very good. Definitely going to get my hands on some more of those scrolls. Here we have Nick Fury holding Goose. The mystery is, what is Goose doing in the film? But yeah, who else do we have? Looking around, I've got Carol Danvers and her bomber jacket. But overall, these figures are looking very nice. And as I said, I'm sure it's not the last we've seen from figures from the Captain Marvel film. So you let me know in the comments below, how are you going to pose your Starforce Captain Marvel? Are you going to have her as Minerva, or are you going to swap the pieces round and have her as Captain Marvel? As I bring these pieces back in now. So it is completely up to you. As I said, you can buy two of them, and you could have a Minerva and you could have a Captain Marvel. It is completely up to you what you do. But for now, I think I'm going to have mine as Minerva and have her posed with the Starforce Commander on the shelf for the time being. But yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. As I said, I like it when Hasbro give us options, and we cannot complain as this one does. So you let me know, as I said, how are you going to pose this figure? What appearance or are you buying to? And as always, people, make sure you check out the videos tab, as I have reviewed every other figure in the Captain Marvel Kree Century Build-A-Figure wave. So go and check them out and come back for plenty more. And all you have to do is please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And as always, my name is Dan W, and I shall see you on the next one.